Hi everyone, it's Carolyn here again to share another channeled message. However, once again, and this is the second in kind of, I guess, a series of information I've received in my distance energy healing sessions, and that I think are kind of neat to share with you guys so that you can learn something from them too. So I've got two today that I'm going to share. By the way, my cat is joining us. I'm kneeling on my ottoman because I won't move my cat to sit in my chair. But anyway, needless to say, I'm here and we are going to walk through two of these and then I'll give you my take on it too. But I just thought you'd find these interesting. So welcome to everybody who's new. If you're not familiar with my channel, Carolyn Zaiser, you can check out my welcome video, and that actually tells you a little bit about my awakening journey. And then also what I typically do is share channeled messages from the light keepers, and you can learn how I started channeling them. These are a little bit different today. But I hope you enjoy them. And then thanks again to everybody who always joins me. I so appreciate your comments and enjoy interacting with you. So with that, here we go. And then I'm going to make a few comments. All right. So this is part of a channel that came through recently to actually assist somebody in just dealing with stress. All right. For the body houses stress much longer than the actual stressor takes place, which is why often concerns arise long after an initial incident or situation. We say it is important as one goes through shifts and changes in their lives that as they occur, deep quietness, resting, peace, and calling on help in spirit is important in assisting the body in overcoming. And with this, a greater knowing that all will be well regardless of what happens in one's life. So that's just a small piece, but I have a couple comments about this because it occurred to me that as we typically go through stressful events in our life, guess what we do? We plow through it, we get tough, we move through it, not with ease, not with grace, not with taking care of ourselves. In fact, I can think of so many times where I would be dealing with something very stressful and I would stop exercising. I definitely stopped meditating. We have a tendency to eat lousy. I don't know, I like my beer on occasion, and so I drink more beer, right? I mean, just goofy stuff like that. Not get enough sleep. We start letting the stress overtake us. And then, and I've kind of always known this, and I don't know if I can identify it specifically reflective of my life, but people can oftentimes manifest illnesses, whether it's the flu or whatever, after a huge stressful event, months after. And so they speak to this, and it's, talking about how that actual stressor that we have, it doesn't just go away after the stress is the event of that stress is gone or has subsided. The body is still housing it and holding it. And particularly if we don't deal with the stressful situation, you can do the whole thing of blocking it, blocking whatever that was if you have to process through emotions and you're not doing it. Well, that in and of itself is something that we've already talked about in another channel. But now we're talking about what can actually happen when we don't take care of ourselves in the process of going through stress. Then afterwards, we can end up with, an illness, the flu, whatever, you can name it. So I wanted to offer that to you today. And again, a lot of these things are kind of common sense in a way, but sometimes we don't put two and two together on all of this. So, all right, I'm going to share the next one. Okay, this one I love because it really speaks to listening and being in tune with ourselves. And again, during the awakening, we end up with so much emotion that bubbles up, a lot of stuff that's stuffed down that we're processing, going through the trials and tribulations and the joys and laughters of awakening. But it's so much more intensified. And so this talks a bit to that and identifying when we need to really think twice. Okay? The pull of the outer world of expectation, relying on others' opinions and views of oneself, if allowed, can form oneself. Yet often dissonance is felt, and this is the separation. The separation being the one who has become a manifestation of the outer world, and yet the inner world, the inner being wishing to lead. For when one feels dissonance, this is a signature sign of one's true self reaching out to lead. When one feels comfort in all knowing and being, knowing one is being led from within, all dissonance disappears. And yet we say, it is not well understood that in the human world, this is part of the challenge, to set aside the pull of the outer world of expectations, judgment, other opinions, and views. All that is not who one is. For one is who one is, deep within the true self. This, we say, is the opportunity in front of each of you. So what I would do is I would ask you to consider, as you're going through the awakening journey or life journey in general, where when you start feeling, when you're doing something, or whether it's in a relationship, whether it's an activity, whatever it is, a decision you have to make, how do you feel about it? If you're not in comfort and ease with it, and there's some level of what they call dissonance, which is the opposing feeling of discomfort, dismay, not feeling right, and sometimes we can block that. And I did that just recently. I was like, no, and I just kept plowing through, and I got smacked down big time by the universe, and that's a whole nother video. But anyway, needless to say, we have to listen to ourselves, because we know when we're not headed in the right direction. And oftentimes we do it, like they say, because of other people's opinions, the expectations of society, or of our families, of everybody else, and we're making decisions not for our higher good. So that, when you feel dissonance, when you have that contrast of that feeling of something's not right, you're not loving that fully like you should, joy and laughter and happiness, versus the full-blown love and joy of knowing you are doing the right thing. I mean, that's when you're able to tell, oh my gosh, step back, rethink things. And I'm going to tell you that's hard in life, because we get so wrapped up in our emotions, so wrapped up in what society thinks and wants and our families want. And now during the awakening, we have this opportunity to step back, because it's going to be in our face, to be able to do that and reconsider the choices that we actually make. So anyway, those are the two that I wanted to share. That's kind of the last of these for now that I'm going to share. But I just thought it was something different, and I thought you would enjoy it. And so I'll just leave you with a final message of reminding you of my services on purplerainhealing.com, spiritual awakening mentoring, which I absolutely love, because I get to work with you one-on-one, launching you forward in your awakening journey with channeled messages from your spirit team. I also do distance energy healing and channeled personal messages. So check it out. I would absolutely love to work with each of you. And again, thank you so much for joining me in this video, and I will see you in the next one.